Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. In this series, you'll learn about method reference. All code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
Alternative of, so its name is method reference. Method reference. So what is this method reference? Method reference, it's an alternative of Lambda expression. Okay, so first point is that it is an alternative of Lambda expression. Method reference. So we should know what is this method reference, how to use this method reference, why I need method reference, why not Lambda expression, why not Lambda expression, why method reference. So these are some of the common features that we should know when I'm going with this method reference, right? So let's talk about this method reference. First point I want to say here is that if the implementation is already available, okay, if the implementation of the method is already available, then we should go for method reference. If the implementation is not already available, then we should go for Lambda expression. So now what is the implementation? Okay, let's before coming into that implementation side, let's first talk about what is this method reference itself. If I want to do the method reference, means I'm going to reference a method. What does it mean, a method reference? I'm going to reference a method. So how to reference a method? We use this operator. This is called a scope resolution operator. Okay. So this is used, this scope resolution operator. Okay. It is used to reference a method. What does it mean by this? So as for example, if you see the thread program, let me give them an idea first. What is the idea of a method reference? We should have that idea. Already you know, you have done on the thread. See, when you talk about this thread program, just see this thread program. In this thread program, when I call start method, if I call a start method, then the thread start with its lifecycle phase. But if I call the run method, same example as it is done here, if I call the run method here, if I'm going to call run method, it will work. This code will work. This code will execute. What it will do, it will just call this run method and execute the code. So if I call a run method, then it is not going to start a thread lifecycle phase. It is just executing this line of a statement if you call a run method. But we should always call start method. Why? Because if you call a start method, then the thread will come under the lifecycle phase of the thread will start. So as per Java API specification, we should always call the start method. Always, so the lifecycle phase of the thread will start and it will call the run method. So if I call the start method, then this thread will call the run method according to thread lifecycle phase. That is the approach, correct? So I'm calling a start method, but it's calling a run method on the other side to execute the logic. Correct. So that is that the start method is going to reference a run method on the back end. Correct. That topic only you're talking about here, method reference. We can reference a method. We can reference a method. One method can reference another method. That is called method reference. One method can reference another method. That is called method reference, very simply. How to reference? Using this scope resolution operator. Now the question is that what is the advantage? Yes, advantage is code reusability. Same like what is the advantage for Lambda expression? Code reusability. I should write less and concise code. Here also, the purpose of using method reference from Java 8 is code reusability. Code reusability. Same like Lambda expression. So the question is that how to reference a method? Methods are also different type, right? Static method, non-static method. Correct. Now, if I want to, if I want to reference a static method, if I'm going to static method, if I want to reference a static method, then how I can reference in a static method? We have to use class name. Already you know, right? How to call a static method. How to call it a static method? How I can call a static method? Class name with class name. So class name, scope resolution operator, method name. Now method reference means one method is going to call another one method or refer another one method. So if it is a instance method, then class method is not going to call the method. Then object reference will point out that method. Okay. So how it will work? Let me take one example because it is not okay with this, right? Let me take one example how it works. Assume, take our hello world example only, right? That we have taken last time, hello world example. Take that hello world example only. Let me not doing copy paste. Let me write once again. So I have function interface hello world. This is a functional interface. Fine. So inside this functional interface, I have a particular private static method. Assume it is void hello or something like that. Void hello. This is what type of method it is. It is a static method. Sorry, it is a simple abstract method inside my functional interface. Fine. Now I'm going to create my own class. If you remember, we have created last time HC, opening brace, closing brace, and inside this class we have to use a particular method called, let's write one particular method, public void demo. So this is just here is an instance method. Demo is an instance method inside my class HC. So just write something else here. So you can see here, just going to write some method, I'm going to print some statement here. This is my method. System.out.println, and just write here like this is demo. Fine. So what happened? This is my function interface. This is a simple class that have a particular method. Correct. And this is my main method inside this class. So public static void main and the string args. This is my main method. So inside a main method, what we'll do is that how to call this function. You have to get an object of hc obj equal to new hc. I'm getting an object of the class, and then I'm calling obj.demo. obj.demo. This is how I can create an object of the class. Fine. Now what is our approach is that if I'm going to use functional interface, then how it will work. If I'm going to use functional interface, let's see. Let me convert this example using functional interface. Already you know, right? Then also I'm just saying once again. Let me convert this example using functional interface. Just copy paste. Let me do it using functional interface. So what functional interface is saying is that no method name, no return type, no access specifier, no inputs here. And this is my Lambda expression syntax. If I have only one statement, no curly brace also. So this is my function interface. And this function interface, how to point out this function interface? Using a reference of this hello world. Yes. So what I can do here is that I can write hello world hw equal to, I'm calling the function interface. Sorry, calling the Lambda expression using function interface. You can see here. Then I should call hw.hello. Then I should call hw.hello. This is the implementation what we do with the help of Lambda expression. Okay. What happened is that I have to write less number of code. So the question is that if I don't want to use Lambda expression, is there any alternative or not? No, I want to use function interface, but I don't want to use Lambda expression. Okay, so there is some scenario. That if you don't have any method implementation already, then you can go for Lambda expression. You can make it first. But if I have the Lambda method implementation, in this example already I have method implementation. So if I have a method implementation, now this method implementation is already there, right? So if I have already method implementation in my project code, then better not to go for Lambda implementation, go for method reference. So if I'm going to convert this code using method reference, then how it will look like? So this code is using Lambda expression. Lambda expression, right? Fine. Whereas this code is using method reference. Method reference. Method reference. So what I'm going to do, so when I've already told you, right, when I don't have implementation, I should go for Lambda expression. Lambda expression, when I should go, no implementation of the method Method implementation is not provided. Directly I can use lambda expression. Initially you may find slight tough, but when you come with practice, you'll find that better to go with lambda expression. But if I have already method implementation, then it is recommended that go for method reference. So how to use method reference? Just see here, please. I'm creating an object of Control C functional interface, Control V HW or obj equal to, or take some other name. Now I have used already. Let's take this name as OB. So you can write obj equal to OB scope resolution operator demo. So what I'm doing, creating a reference of function interface. I'm referring some other method called demo. This is the method. So this method will be called only when I'll call obj.hello. That's it. Again, I'm saying this is a good implementation. Just you have to take care of 1 or 2 points. That lambda expression is used to reduce the code. You can write very less and concise code using lambda expression. That is a very good approach you talked about. Now in this approach, we'll create a lambda expression for whom? For a particular method. And using functional interface is used to call that lambda expression to get the output. Best approach if I don't have the method implementation already. But if I have already method implementation, then best approach is that don't go for lambda. One approach, if not, I'll not say best approach, I'll say alternative approach is that you can go for method reference. What method reference is saying that your reference of the functional interface is going to refer a particular method. Now here is also another case. If this method is a static method, then it is going to call using class name. If it is an instance method, it is going to call using an object. As if it's a static method, then I have to call it using hc::demo. But it's not a static method, right? It's an instance method. So instance method, you have to call it using object. That's it. And then if you call obj.hello, then it will call this demo method, and this is demo gets printed. Let me check. Method reference example is working or not. Control C. I'm going to create an example of method reference, right? So right click new class, and class name is method reference demo. So this is my class. So method reference demo. Now here, let's copy paste the complete thing. Control V. So this is my interface, functional interface, right? And this is a demo method. This reference method I want to reference, create an object of method reference demo. So this class name should be method reference demo, right? Method reference demo. It should be like this. So if you're using this method reference demo, the class name, so I have to get an object of this class here only. Control V, Control V, save it. So I have to take some H from here. Method reference demo. Yes, I think it's correct. Save it. And it should reference a particular demo method. It should execute. Let me check. Right click, run as Java application. Yes, it is working fine. If this method is a static method, if the method is static method, then the rule already I told you. What is the static method rule? Just see this. If the method is static method, then class name should call the method. If the static method, class name should call the method. Correct? So class name should call the method. So what is the class name? Class name is this one. Control C. Class name, Control V. Using class name, I should call the method. So I don't need this step. Save it. Right click. Run as Java application. Yes, it is also working fine. Right. So this is the thing, another important features. It's working fine, right? One of the important feature is this method reference, an alternative of your Lambda expression.